Switchblade to a single midnight. Think twice about the motherfucking quick knife. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenading in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes where they go running high. That we don't wanna lie when the union arrives. Then street lights shining, you know my time's arriving. Out when it's dark cause we midnight vibing. Midnight driving, cruising by flying. Living so fast, never think about dying. Pose up in the dark and we hang out with the Batman. Scars on my knuckles cause we fucking with the wolf gang. Switchblade shining, night bright wildin'. Stars in my eyes when the moonlight shines in. Murder rap on my first track. Killing shit cause I've been begging suicide. On the second I don't care, just accept it. Knife swipe and get doomed. Switchblade coming soon. Chills on your spine when we hide out to the fucking moon. Still shine bright, fast spot. Make it eyes one, shut down, slice with the right swap. Blood on my fist, knife test on my wrist. Moonshine off the blade, just cruising through the mist. Middle of midnight, think twice about the motherfucking quick knife. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenade.
What's up, everybody? This is the Crowded Room Podcast. It is 40 degrees in this room, I think.
Easy 40 degrees.
We're going to start off with this right here.
I really hate to be the dude that fucks with us. You think?
Jesus.
I mean, hell.
Especially if you're blind.
I really
Jesus.
hate
You think?
He's got the
Jesus.
monster logos. I didn't even see that. Yeah. That's a little much. Okay.
How's that for an intro?
Those are my new heroes, actually. I'm pretty sure those are the Proud Boys that are coming to a court near you.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I thought Alex has to see this.
I would like to see that, yeah.
We got Dan in the chat already. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Dan. It's Alex and Jerry.
You're the first
here.
one to say hi. So.
Welcome back
Wow.
to another episode of The Crowded Room. Alex and Jerry here, bringing you the hard-hitting news, weather news.
Oh, and the news is it's so hot in here.
You're already leaking.
I am leaking. I am leaking. I put this suit on. Before I got the suit on, I was leaking.
Oh, God.
Man. But look it's a nice sunny
It's
day.
a nice sunny day. You just
out
dip
at
your
the-
toes in the river here.
Yeah, out at the river. Doesn't
Andrew.
get much nicer.
How about you? Are you hot as shit? Oh, yeah. You're not even wearing a thing. Here, hit Andrew's mic there real
There
quick.
you go, Andrew.
What's going on, Andrew?
My man boobs are sweating, and my ass crack's sweating.
There
I don't
we
want to
go.
know what else is sweating.
And, my
You had a good
armpits-
week?
Yeah, I had a pretty good week. man.
What'd you get up to this week?
I had a couple days off, so I just chilled and got shit done, some chores that I needed. to
Right,
do,
right.
and,
You can't tell with my suit on, but I am sunburnt to shit. Actually, like beet red.
Just
Yeah,
working
the
out
back
in
of
the
my
sun all
neck
day.
is the worst. But yeah, there's something about my skin that just burns instantly in the spring, and then I'm good for the rest of the summer. I don't really need sunscreen. I'm sure I need it, but I just don't do it.
Cypher says, let's go. I made it this time.
Thank you, Cypher.
What's up, Clay?
Yeah, how about you, Jer? You had a productive week.
I had a productive week.
You didn't get sunburnt.
Didn't get sunburnt, surprisingly, but I spent as much time in the sun as I could.
There's still
Got
time.
my barbecue all cleaned up. It was all rusted and calcified from the summer.
Did
so
you leave it out all summer or all winter? I mean,
Yeah, I think so. I think the cover was under the snow.
I try to put the cover on and the wind blows it off, and then I just fuck it. After that, I got the cheapest barbecue ever. My mom was gonna throw it out, and I was like, "Oh, I can fix that." And I just went and bought a new connector from the tank to the barbecue.
Oh, yeah?
and it worked perfectly fine after that. So I was like, "I have
Most
this."
of the time, it's just the regulators and stuff. So
Right. That's what they call it. Yeah.
I actually did a really cool towel job, and I'll send the picture to the Discord now. So
This week,
yeah, it was
nice.
a pretty cool job. You guys might like to see this. Someone asked me to do a herringbone pattern.
Right. I don't know if people know that
Bam.
that you do tile.
I am a tile setter,
Yeah.
and so they wanted this behind their wood stove.
Right.
So
You
the
got
wood
you
stuff.
got tile in your blood or grout in your blood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We can zoom in.
Look at that. That's freehand, believe it or not.
How big is an individual tile?
About like that.
Like
Well,
many
I would
inches?
say 3 by 10.
oh, okay. Yeah, those look tiny from the picture, but
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
they look like bricks, right? Like they're
you know
porous like
because
that.
you saw them in person, but to
Yeah,
us that
exactly.
kind of looks like a mosaic or something, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, so that took all day, but
Jesus
fun time.
Christ.
I actually had
looks
to.
really nice.
I actually made my own spacers at one point because they wanted half-inch
Right,
grout lines.
right. Those are
And,
half-inch grout lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't tell that at all.
You
from
can't
the
tell because I
picture.
took the picture standing, so the ones
Yeah.
at the bottom look a little tighter, but like it's just because of the angle.
Why would they want half-inch
So is
grout
that
lines?
on the
Oh,
wall?
I don't know. That's on the wall, yeah.
What-
and a
what-
wood stove goes in front of that, and the pipe will or the chimney part of it will go all the way up.
Okay.
The ducting.
Jesus, those guys really wanted you to do some work.
Yeah, I'm sweating just thinking about it.
Did you pick like the color scheme, or did you just randomly put this?
I randomly put them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I opened up a few boxes and just threw them up.
that's cool.
No, that's really
It
nice.
looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Don't typically share my work on here, but I figured this one was worth a share.
I like it. Oh,
Let's see
Jesus
here.
Christ, I am hot in here, though.
Yeah,
We need an air
Cassandra
conditioner.
comments. She
Yeah.
says
What?
air conditioner. Air
They
conditioning
do exist. I saw them actually on sale the other day for like $600 or something. Mine, it's nice. It just sits by the door and it pipes out the door and blows cold shit in. But it's worth it, dude. Oh my god.
I bet.
I don't know because you'd have to like wheel it around to each different room in your house here, so it might not work out too well.
Fair
But
enough.
holy fuck, that's worth investing in.
Woo! So, with that being said, what do we got on the agenda for today? We got JP Morgan. We got Biden, as usual. We got Jordan Neely. We got bioweapons in Sudan. We got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
AI Godfather quitting his job.
I heard that one too.
What do you want to start with?
Just start at the top. What do you got there? Another bank fails. Tell me about this one.
Another bank fails. So JP Morgan just bought this failing bank called the First Republic. And
News
so-
to me.
Yeah, so it was failing just like Silicon Valley and the Signature Bank.
Right,
so this is
right.
the third big one in the United States. And so JP Morgan, they basically bought them and just got all their shit for cheap. And
So they were going bankrupt or what? And he just,
they were failing because everyone was taking their money out.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so JP Morgan, they bought them out, and then like a few days later, all their branches, all the First Republic branches reopened as
Yeah.
JP Morgan branches.
Eh.
So that was they kind of saved that one, whereas the other ones didn't get that kind of saving.
The other one meaning SVB
Silicon-
and
yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, this one they asked for help essentially. They're like, we're going down, and
Yeah.
so they just got bought out.
Well, if they keep bailing out banks, like they say they're too big to fail and
Mm-hmm.
like economies could completely crash if they let banks fail. But if you keep bailing stuff out, then it's not going to ever learn its lesson, right? That's like you keep helping out your drug addict son and he's never going to get off the drugs. God damn it.
It's true. Got to let him figure it out for himself.
Yeah. I can't get over this sweltering heat. Apparently, we're the top heated city in the country,
I believe that because I was talking to our friends from Vancouver yesterday,
and
Nate
they're not
Ryan,
getting the heat that we.
and
are.
it was only like plus. Here's the thing: for them, it was plus 23, but it felt like plus 25. And when I checked the weather here, it was plus 26, but it felt like plus 25. So it feels the same, I'm sure, but we technically have a higher temperature. Just our
right.
humidity is.
I like it. I'd rather get sunburnt than frostbite any day of the week.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So tell me about this Jordan Neely guy. I missed this one.
This is the new George Floyd thing coming out. So this guy, we have a video to play you. He's a Michael Jackson impersonator that would spend his days kind of begging for money on the subway in New York, which is pretty common. You apparently homeless people on the subway are very common in New York. I've never been there. I've never rode a subway. To me, it sounds insane that people would be like street performing when everyone's crammed in this tiny little can.
We're seeing videos of all sorts of shit going
Here,
on in
Andrew's
subways.
Andrew's got a video to play us. No. Oh, well, I mean, whatever you want to play. It's the one where he's dancing. Show him what he does with his life
There you go.
on the Discord here. So this guy does this every day. I guess as a profession.
Imagine it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. You're on your way
And
to
everyone,
work.
look, no one gives a fuck. So this guy has 44 prior arrests. He has an open warrant out for his arrest for aggravated assault. And showed up to work one day, I guess, getting pissed off at all the patrons in the subway. And some guy got real upset about it and choked him out. I guess he didn't let go fast enough, and now he's dead. So his death is ruled a homicide, which spurred a giant riot in New York. And everyone's kind of up in arms. So that's what you're seeing here, the on the left there.
So what exactly are they protesting? What can
They're
we do about
the
it? Some
exact same-
random guy did it.
Yeah, no, exact the same thing as George Floyd. Like they're just like, say his name.
Well, it's one thing if the police did it, but we're talking about some random guy in the subway.
This
that
is a
did it.
24-year-old Marine veteran, as it says there. The thing is, 10 plus, over 10 people have died in the subway in the last year at the hands of other people. They didn't just have heart attacks. They were murdered. No one gave a fuck. You never heard about this at all until a white guy killed a black guy. Now, all of a sudden, the news has something to run with. All of a sudden, everybody has something to protest against.
That makes sense.
But for the other 30 plus incidents a day that go on in New York City, no one's going to give a shit, right? Unless it's egregiously.
We're just talking about the stuff on the subway.
Yeah, exactly, right?
What about the stuff on the buses?
So
the Ubers.
Yeah, AOC comes out saying that this was a mentally deranged man just asking for food and having like a lapse of mental stability or something, and he needed help, not choking to death.
Yeah, so what are we going to do about it? The guy that did that to him doesn't represent anybody or anything.
So that's not the end of it. This Neely guy has a track record of trying to push people onto the subway tracks. He has, like I said, 44 prior arrests leading up to this.
He tries to push people onto the tracks.
He assaulted a senior citizen.
Assaulted a senior citizen in the past, yeah. So people were saying he was hostile on the train, and a lot of people are commending this guy for standing up for people, but a representative like AOC is going to say, no, you should have stood there until you got stabbed, and then you should have defended yourself after that or something.
Yeah, or like if you're going to use a choke like that, like figure out what you're doing. Like
that's a fair point. For sure. If you're going to choke somebody, let him go. But I mean, who's to say like
once he's out, that's when you let him go.
Right. When people train, especially a military veteran, you don't train for fun. You train to kill people.
In the military, they're like, and then
You
when
let
he goes
go.
limp, you let him go.
Yeah.
And you just let him wake back up and try to kill you again.
You get him some tea and cookies,
It's to restart.
and then you fight again.
Fair enough. But at the same time, it's like he ain't in a war zone anymore. And I doubt that guy was coming for his life. Maybe he was being an asshole on the bus. Maybe, the guy wanted to choke him out, but Jesus Christ.
And I mean, there was a whole bus full of people that could have stopped him from doing that too, that decided not to.
But they didn't know how to do that choke either. So go to jiu-jitsu, folks.
And then John McCarthy comes up, okay. That's enough.
Herb Dean's like, no, let it go.
Yeah, Herb Dean's
He's still good.
I don't know what you're talking about here, John. Yeah.
Damn. Well, rest in peace, Jordan Neely.
Rest
Sorry
in
that
peace.
happened to you, buddy.
Yeah, so they're saying this is the new George Floyd. There's a whole bunch of protesters up in arms that want you to say his name is what they're trying to say. And it's like, what about the other 10 people that died last year on the subway? No one gives a shit about them?
Yeah, fair enough.
It's selective outrage, and it's no matter what. That word's been overused in the last since the Chris Rock documentary or stand-up special came out.
Fair enough. As
That
soon
was
as race is
titled the
involved,
same.
then there's something, another narrative there, then they're going to pump it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every single day there's X number of people in Chicago that are killed alone.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to cry. Nobody's going to play a violin over them because it's black people killing black people.
Well, I just mean, the cops didn't do it. So It's like, you know, if you went and killed someone and people are
Yeah.
like, we need to stop this. Like, stop what? That's a random person.
Yeah.
How do we stop that? The world's a fucking bad place.
And aside from that, what are you supposed to do? Just sit there and wait until he does commit an assault, a crime, a murder, and then we have to apprehend this guy? Or we wait until you get erratic in public and then we subdue you? I'm sure his intention wasn't to kill the guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think it
it's
was.
really hard to come back after the fact and say that.
It's just a choke that wasn't used responsibly.
Especially when you were trained to kill people by the military. That one's a little much to deal with. But that's an important case for this week in the news, ladies and gentlemen. So who knows how that one's going to come through. New York is inherently soft on crime. You can tell.
Because there's so much of it.
Well, a guy to be arrested 44 times and homeless and still let out onto the streets.
Well, how many times have you heard that? These people that commit like these heinous acts, and then you look at, it's like, this guy's been let out like fucking, you know,
slapped
like,
on the wrist 44 times.
Yeah.
And then now he's dead. Who's to blame here? The guy who subdued him or the justice system that let him out 44 times after committing crimes?
we have, where did that take place?
New York.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So in Canada, we have the same problem. Like, there's like a small number, like less than 100 of individuals that are causing like 80 to 90%. Like they keep getting let out over and over again. So like when it comes to all these little like violations or arrests that are being made, it's like the same people over and over again. And our justice system is just throwing them back out there.
Soft on crime. Yeah. Same with California and everything. Yeah. It's a reform on just the way of thinking. And it's altruistic at heart, but at the end of the day, if someone's threatening the immediate surroundings of me and we're all stuck in a subway, like if we're at the park, yeah, I'll just turn around and walk away. We're in a fucking subway. There's nowhere to go and you're acting erratic. Yeah, someone has to subdue this, but that's not for me or you to judge. But yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Guy was 30 years old, homeless. Houseless, as they like to say now. That's the new term.
Yeah, you were a bigot when you said homeless.
Yeah, I felt the bigotry coming out of the fucking pores here. Holy shit. You can
Just
tell.
sweat it out. Yeah. It's oozing out. Yeah.
It's all good.
So,
It's all good.
what do you think of Aquaman? Do you like that movie? You ever watch it?
I haven't seen
No.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. No.
I tried. I turned it on for like 20 minutes. I had to go right off. It's very cheesy. He comes out of the sea, all fucking goes into the pub.
I think I lasted maybe 10 before I was like, I'm just going to go on my phone. And no, that's about
Yeah.
So with this number 2 here, the Aquaman number 2, Jason Momoa has decided that he needs special treatment for this movie. And it involves adding a plot that has everything to do with climate change. And in this 50-page treatment, it literally says, like, he's explaining what it is. This is a quote exactly from him. It's a 50-page treatment, and a lot of it has to do with me talking to the UN about what's happening with the melted ice caps. What are we going to do about this?
I'm going to die if I don't take this off. Fuck you.
Holy, look at this.
It's coming off. Fuck that.
Wow.
First.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
I can't handle that.
they've
That
never
was too
seen your
much.
arms since
Anyways,
episode
Jason
39.
Momoa is acting like a diva. Keep going.
Yeah, so he's worried about global warming.
Yeah.
Looks like you are too.
Yeah. Local warming, actually.
Yeah, and so to me, it just seems like a bunch of propaganda that got like that's getting inserted into this movie. And instead of it being from whoever wrote the movie, now Jason Momoa's like, you know, oh yeah, I'll take the blame for this. But like, I just think it's so stupid.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I don't know.
I think it's stupid.
Like you look in the comments, people are like, "Can we just have superheroes fighting superheroes?" Like, we didn't really, not really worried about him fighting climate change.
That whole superhero kind of fan base is really going down. It was huge, 2019 or something around Endgame.
Endgame.
It was
That was
very
the
big.
Endgame.
Yeah, I remember coming out of the theater in Endgame, and I was like, "That was great," but I am fucking done.
I
with
think a
this
lot of
story.
people thought that. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's fine, but I'm done with this now.
It's like over 10 years in the making, like telling that story.
And there's like 3 giant climactic movies and stuff. It's like, okay, that was great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But can we stop like you just climax so hard. I'm not going to ruin the end of the movie, but it climaxes really hard. And we're like, so we're just going to pick this back up and keep running with the ball now? Like, no, that's enough.
Yeah.
God
And,
damn it. Give it
you
10
know,
years and remake it.
I still try to enjoy them, but they're getting less and less enjoyable. And maybe I'm just growing out of them, but I feel like it's not because of that. I
think they're trying to go to like the kids as their audience now. So
Yeah. No, definitely. They always were. It's just we grew out of it. Yeah.
getting older.
Yeah, fair enough. So, anyways, that's my opinion on that. I think it's just a bunch of bullshit propaganda
It's bullshit,
getting put into
but,
movies, but just
more than that, the Amber Heard got picked back up for the sequel. She was canceled out of it during the trial with Johnny Depp last year, and she just got picked back up to act in it again. She was cut out of the last one, I'm pretty sure. They only left her in for like 30 seconds of the movie or something like that.
The movie was out before all that stuff happened.
But they edited something. I never saw it, so I'm talking out of my ass.
They were cutting her out of the second one, which is they've
that's
been filming the second one for so long. So to me, it's so crazy that like the movie's like got to be almost done by now.
Right.
And Jason Momoa was like, you know what? We're actually going to make this about climate change now. And he's like, oh yeah. In the movie, he's like, this guy or these people aren't the bad guy. We are. We're destroying the planet. And
wow.
Yeah. We are. We are not big corporations.
I'm instantly fucking 100 times better after taking that jacket off. Holy shit!
Bet I'm gonna deal with it till the end of the episode. I love global warming.
Good on you, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instantly 100 times better. But that's a personal problem that we'll deal with here inside the crowded room.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you feel about that, Andrew? You care about fucking Amber Heard? Are you
Amber Turd?
Yeah, are you a Johnny Depp fan?
I'm not really a fan of either one of them.
No, I could give a two shit. This movie could come and go, and I would not even notice it.
Some people
I have
were
no
saying
plans on
that
watching
trial was just a cover up for the whole trial of Epstein's wife or whatever.
But
Really?
that wasn't even at the same time, was it? Oh, I guess it
Yeah,
kind
it
of was.
was.
Yeah.
So like they had that going, and everybody was paying more attention to that than the other trial. So
Right.
I think it was just used as a smoke show.
Okay, well, C11 passed last week, and we've been looking around to try to find the blowback of it, and there hasn't been much. I've noticed a lot of Canadian advertisements been put in front of me, but but as a whole, I haven't really noticed too many differences from last week before this bill passed. And I don't know if it's still to come and we got to wait for it, but it's nothing really different.
My ads are still the same as before. I was over at my friend's house, and they let me sample some Athletic Greens, AG1.
Yeah.
Hey, try sponsoring us, by the way. They sponsor everything. So I tried that out, and I was like, oh, cool. And he gave me some to take home. And the next day, every time I went on Facebook, AG1, like so many AG1 ads. And I was like, okay, after the third, okay, I'll subscribe already. But even after that, even after I got my subscription, I still kept getting bombarded with ads until I asked, I was talking about getting blood work done to see what I'm allergic to, or, like what I should be eating, like the foods that are compatible with
Who are
me.
you asking?
I was asking the same friend that, and then like the next day, and then they mentioned that like you have to go to a special like clinic to do that. You don't just do that at the hospital. Yeah. And then I started getting ads for that. So
it's odd, dude. I've noticed like even without saying stuff, and this is conspiratorial, but I've thought about things and then saw an ad on it.
Me too.
And it's like, holy shit, what's going on?
Me too. Things I haven't said out loud at all, but
yeah. And all of a sudden you're getting advertised for it. Like, okay, this is going a step farther.
Well, the AI, the algorithm, it like pays attention to where you look and focus on your screen, so it knows exactly what you're looking at too. So like,
I keep this fancy little sticker on top of my.
That. So does Mark Zuckerberg, I guess.
Yeah, that's the trick. That's how you become a billionaire. You put the sticker over your laptop camera.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, CBC boss threatens to pull an ad spending a campaign with Twitter because they don't want to censor Canadians. So they're upset because the majority of misinformation, as they put it, is spread over Twitter very faster than they can take it down, and already the damage is done by the time they do take it down, right?
All the damage that's been done with Tell me one bit of damage that's been done with misinformation.
It doesn't even matter if it is. It's just what they say it is. They're contemplating taking Fox News out of Canada altogether.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, how the fuck are you going to do that? That's like you're gonna scour YouTube clips and like keep all that off of there. But yeah,
just this whole damage of disinformation or misinformation. Like, what if you cared about the damage done by vaccines? Like,
exactly.
Like, how come you don't care about that? That's a lot more damage than what's being done with misinformation.
No. And they spent 3 years trying to vilify people who didn't want to get vaccinated, trying to coerce them and ostracize them from their family altogether. And now Fauci wants to say, hey, we got to stop playing the blame game, guys. He literally said that word for word.
Yep.
So convenient.
So
Dr.
convenient.
F.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As everything's like swaying in the other direction now. He doesn't want to be on the wrong side of shit.
But CBC, the spokeslady for CBC is actually an American lady who came at not Elon Musk, but the head of Twitter Canada, saying that they're going to pull all their funding for advertising if they don't allow them to self-censor Canadians over Twitter.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that, and not only that, they had that 69% ticker that was put on there taken off. I don't know if that was taken off voluntarily or if they fought to get that taken off.
No, they had to pay $12.99 a month.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that was just it. So, if you guys give me the money, I'll take it down.
$6 million a month, and then I'll take it down.
Right, but this lady isn't even Canadian that runs the head of CBC. She's an American lady that's like full bore trying to get this censorship on board. So I don't understand exactly what's going on or why an American lady is the head of CBC.
Well, it's probably because the company that owns CBC is American.
Yeah, there's some strings to follow there.
You look at any media organization and you can just go on Google and say who owns this and it'll tell you. And every single one of them leads up to a Treasury or to BlackRock. BlackRock's in there somewhere. They're always in there.
Somewhere, and you just got a shadow ban for saying that word.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Either way.
How about Trudeau spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for a weekend retreat, Dan says.
Where? Oh, I thought you had that one.
No, Dan just said that in the chat.
Dan.
Thank
you, Dan.
Yep, I did hear something about that. Can't remember where he went, but that's just par for the course every time that dickhead goes anywhere, you know.
It's news for me.
Him and his family go somewhere, and between what they pay for security and a private jet and the best wines at the best restaurants with their food,
right?
It ends up being like $200,000 for them to go somewhere for 5 days.
Well, right now should be in England doing the coronation for the new king.
Okay,
so that might be what he's talking about. Yeah.
Well, no. There's a vacation he went on recently. I think we talked about it on the last podcast.
Week he did a press appearance in New York. That's what we were talking about.
I remember New York. Yeah, he went on, but it was like a vacation there as well. Didn't they stay there for like 5 days? And
probably.
Anyways,
I can't imagine it's cheap staying in New York.
So speaking of CBC, I got a video to show you about them. It's in the Instagram page, he's got it here, right there. Check this out.
The other day, assuming it's because of all the controversy about government funding, posted this graph on its social media showing its total amount of funding 2017-18 to 2018-19. And if you look at the graph, those big blue bars indicate its own revenue, and the mauve colored bars represent government funding. If you look at 2017-18, $1.207 billion, geez. The things I could do with my podcast with $1.207 billion would be incredible. And then in 2018-19, it nominally went up to $1.213 billion, but something doesn't seem too right about this graph. You see, in the CBC's graph, for some reason, along the y-axis, it increases by $100 million increments until you get to $700 million, where it jumps by $1 billion? So in actuality, this is what the graph should look like. The vast majority of the CBC's funding comes from the government. So the CBC did this the other day.
Isn't that so fucking funny? They're like, yeah, no, here's all the information right here. And then they manipulate the graph to make it look like they get hardly any of their funding from the government. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's there's this law in England apparently where you legally have to report the news as news, and that just doesn't exist here in North America. And you get away with it by calling yourself an editorial piece.
Oh, okay.
So you're not actually news. You're editing the news to make it sound right to however you want it to sound. And it's obvious when you watch like Fox and CNN that they do it in two different directions. But if you go to England, apparently that's illegal. You're not allowed to spread news that way.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
And CBC just seems like another branch onto the Canadian side of that stuff.
yeah, they absolutely are. It's just propaganda.
Right.
Like when you get paid by the government, you're going to say what the government wants you to say. Justin Trudeau admitted that himself.
Oh, yeah.
We played the video like 2 episodes ago.
Almost everything is a government entity in Canada. Like you can't get medicine without having to deal with the government. Every doctor is paid by the fucking government. You know, you can't get anything that you need from like your driver's license. You can't go anywhere without dealing with the government in Canada.
Yep, and just wait till we get digital currency. And speaking of that, actually, in India, they got rid of 86% of their cash flow.
And they're going digital, is what you're saying?
Well, they actually just released their central bank. India just released like a central bank digital currency earlier this year. That like
right.
So it's just in time, right? And so basically, 86% of the cash got taken out. It was the equivalent of the government telling us that we don't need like 20s and 100s anymore, or like 10s and 20s, something like that. And 96% of their transactions are in cash, and they got rid of 86% of the cash in India. Like that's, I don't know. That's
where they're
crazy.
already impoverished horribly.
Yeah, so they just decided we don't need these bills anymore, and by midnight at this time, they're worthless.
Yeah. That's, I mean, what can you say? But I mean, fuck.
I mean, that's
Fuck
what you
me.
say. Fuck me. God damn.
Goddamn India.
Yep. So
I wish I knew more about that one. No.
Oh, I actually have a video on it.
It seems like
Let's watch a video on it.
Dubai itself is a super rich country or city in India, but the rest of it's very poor.
India, right there. So.
Folks, today we're going to have an exercise in how astronomical news can be easily hidden from you in the age of information, yet it's easily verifiable. Did you hear that India wiped out 87% of their cash in circulation?
Okay.
We have decided that the 500 rupee and 1000 rupee currency notes presently in use will no longer be legal tender from midnight to night.
You know, my country was the first where they made cash illegal. 2016, digitalization was forced on the country. 8 o'clock in the evening announced midnight, cash was illegal, the big notes. And 70% of the economy crashed. This digitalization is now going all over the world, and there's a war on cash.
It's all part of a global trend against paper money. But India's move has been the most radical of all.
The 500 and 1,000 rupee, which were the most commonly used denominations, were wiped out in an instant. In a country where 98% of the transactions were done in cash, 86% of the currency was wiped out instantly. This is exactly as if President Biden was to come on national television at 9 p.m. and announce that the $10 and $20 bills were effectively canceled. By the way, India's central bank digital currency, the e-rupee, was just launched this year. Well, it took a little time to get 1.2 billion people used to using cash all digitalized.
If ever there was a time for humanity to wake up, now is the time.
Well, let me bring...
Oh, yeah. That guy's got an odd face, that one.
He looks like an albino black guy.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Well, no, he's probably got one black parent, one white parent. But yeah, that gives you a little bit of an odd equation when it comes to birthing. But yeah, that that one's intense. Yeah. It's obvious that's the way they all want to go because you can't get away with not paying your taxes if you can't pay cash, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
But at what point is it that our sovereignty is tied to cash? I mean, I like to do that. I like to get it. I mean, we're not even buying black market drugs anymore now that Canada legalized all this shit.
Not every transaction should be recorded. It doesn't need to be. We don't need to be taxed on every little fucking thing we do. If someone shovels your driveway, you have to pay taxes on that? Like, give me a fucking break,
and claim
man.
it. And
now this 8-year or 10-year-old kid or 13-year-old kid that's trying to make a buck has to pay taxes on his $10-20 that he just made. Like,
and then the rich people can get away with not paying taxes by sending a lot of money to charity and writing it off, right? Yeah. So it's the poor get poorer, no matter what you do.
You need money to make money.
But unfortunately, the rich get poorer too. It doesn't work both ways. Like you make $1 million, you're gonna have to pay a giant chunk of that to the government, unless you know X, Y, and Z that you have to do to get around it.
That's true. So I feel like you have something to tell me about
WHO,
Sudan.
the World Health Organization officials warn of a high-risk biological hazard. So this Sudan conflict going on right now. You were saying you have a cousin fighting in
My
Sudan?
cousin's in the Canadian military, and I just found out earlier this week he's actually in Sudan.
Shooting hockey pucks at these people
Yeah,
through the sand.
just riding on his moose with the rest of the cavalry.
Yeah, charging.
Let's go,
I sharpened his horns.
Yeah, I wonder if the military is allowed to use AR-15s.
Yeah, no.
Canadian military's like, no, guys, no.
Semi-automatic only.
Bold action only, boys. That's too dangerous. We sent all the AR-15s to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You guys got those registered? Yeah, but anyways, those shitheads over there fighting against us, I guess, seized a laboratory in Sudan that has giant reserves of polio and measles.
So wait, who are we fighting in Sudan?
The Sudanese rebels.
Okay, so didn't they already have the biolab, or is that just one that we put in Sudan? So if shit goes down, at least it happens in Sudan.
The government had control of it.
Oh, okay.
And now they lost control of it.
All right.
Right, and if people aren't careful, we get a whole fucking pandemic all over again.
But that's highly like sophisticated stuff. They can't just walk in and like
you can when you got a big
they could take a
enough
bunch of like glass bottles that look like they have dangerous shit and like huck it at the
well,
people. But like aside
imagine
from that,
just throwing a grenade into the wrong room and all of a sudden a bunch of vials break. I'm sure it's more secure than that. I don't know what Sudan it looks like. Have you seen a picture of Sudan? I picture a car in my head when I keep saying that word.
I think of like the beach, except no, more of a desert.
Yeah, right. We don't know. It's probably not. That's just what we picture.
It's in Africa, right?
Oh, there we go. So everything looks like that.
Yeah, that looks like Africa, unfortunately.
Right, but they're in the middle.
Oh,
of
they're right
fucking
next
around.
to Chad.
Got you.
Oh, they're right above South Sudan. You know where South Sudan is?
Yeah. It's north of South Sudan. It actually looks exactly like we pictured.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's after we got there.
Yeah.
It's after Canada showed up.
Flat as shit.
So how'd Canada get into this mess? Obviously, the United States wanted to go in there.
They had oil or something, probably.
They found oil.
We need to liberate their oil.
Yeah. Holy shit. Thatch huts? Well, dude, it's better than garbage huts. The last picture, I don't know. There's lots of like crazy like garbage huts there too.
Where do people
in the really
shit?
poor places?
Do they just have a giant shit pit? They all go fucking. Where? You act like that's a dumb question. Like if I was there, I'd be like, oh, where am I gonna shit?
Well, if we lived there, I'd be like, Alex, go shit way over there so none of us ever have to get
You'd literally
I'd tell you to go walk for a mile and then come back.
You'd still see me. You see how flat that is? The wind would still take it right over to you.
One of your shits, probably.
So goddamn sunny and bright out there. Your butthole's gonna get sunburnt. I'm susceptible.
Yep. Fair enough. I heard you can take in energy by showing your butthole to the sun.
Who told you that one?
Absorb energy.
No, that's true. That's not.
Show your
that's
butthole
not
to
false
the sun.
news. Why do you think Donald Trump looks so young?
He's a vampire.
Motherfucker's sunning it. But yeah, who knows? This is the second or third week in a row where we've had a biological hazard scare. I forget what last week's was, but there was one as well. And people are just like, oh, no, nothing will happen. Luckily, this one's just measles and polio that we've seen before, and we have actual vaccines for.
Yeah. Actual vaccines.
Actual vaccines, unless they're doing more gain-of-function research.
They never did gain-of-function research.
They never did it. Yeah, they don't even know how to do that.
Yeah. So what did I want to say? Oh, yeah, this is a big story. I wanted to get to it earlier, but the AI godfather, Jeffrey Hinton, has quit Google because he wants to be able to talk about what's going on with AI. Working for Google, he can't, right? Mm-hmm. So he quit Google, and he's saying that they've made a couple unexpected rapid advances in AI, and it's gotten to the point where it has an ability to learn simple reasonings. And basically they were asked, what is the worst conceivable thing that could happen? And he's saying, this is a quote from him, "It's quite conceivable humanity is just a passing phase in the evolution of intelligence."
Yeah.
What a thought.
Well, regardless, it will be.
Oh, yeah, but what a thought. Imagine a day when just only AI exists and humans are gone. Or maybe we are enslaved by them even.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe that's the whole purpose that humans were evolved in the first place.
Where's the Terminator picture?
Yeah, right? Ooh.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that's pretty crazy. Everyone's using AI.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And the flashing and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Everyone saw it earlier. We're just seeing it now.
Yeah.
It's a delay for us.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so I have a video to share as well that kind of relates to this.
Sure.
And it's in the Instagram.
Not that
Still
guy
got
again?
This fucking guy.
That guy? I don't want to say
This
he's
guy.
creepy. He's not creepy.
This
It's
little
just
stoner
something.
guy. Yeah.
Something uncanny about that guy.
This guy has the best conspiracies, but just listen.
What scares me the most, and this is probably it. So as society has developed, our ability to communicate has gotten faster and faster. We used to have to like send physical messengers or carve in a stone to transmit ideas, and now we can just FaceTime someone across the world. Right now, language is still the fastest way to pass info from person to person. But a lot of people believe that like Neuralink or brain-computer interfaces will increase that rate. So with the BCI, you get a chip implant with long little wires that are even thinner than hair going to different parts of your brain. And those wires have thousands of nodes on them that can produce and record electrical information. So they've done pretty good testing on these and already have monkeys that can like play Pong and stuff. And the goal is that you would be able to eventually put a chip in your brain and connect to the internet with thought. So you could eventually like think a question and get the answer back right away. But just like the internet, originally it was just like querying databases, and then eventually it became like talking to people, which is why we have like social networks now. Only the thing is you wouldn't be talking. Because you could exchange so much information, you would literally be thinking together. As a side note, the corpus callosum is what connects the left and right side of your brain, and a BCI could easily surpass the amount of information that the corpus callosum can transmit. So since we don't view our left and right brain as separate consciousness, we just view it as one self. If two people with a chip can communicate faster than that, they might just be one consciousness. And the more people that plug in, the stronger that kind of hive mind grows, just absorbing everyone along the way. That hive mind can become so strong that once people plug in, they just immediately are controlled by it. And if it's smart enough, it might try to trick us that this isn't happening. Like make people seem as if they have their individuality until we're all a part of it. It kind of sounds like the mark of the beast. I've had a couple people ask.
Interesting thought, to say the least, right?
Very interesting.
Yeah,
This is all hearsay, though. I mean, this is talking
speculation.
About I get it. So if you have something very important to say, why the frick would you put the music behind you?
Didn't you know Alex doesn't like that music? That's why he put the music.
But he's editing and he's like, "Ooh, this is like important stuff, but let's put the music in."
When you hear that loon in the back, he's like, "That part slaps."
Yeah, he's like, "That's what I was
saving the best
for."
part for that part. Yeah.
I don't know. That one upsets me. I hate that.
I feel
so
like you
much.
just described the Matrix movies.
No, me too.
And the Terminator and fucking everything.
The idea is
AI. Yeah.
It's not like you'll be in a fantasy land, like in your head or in a machine, a simulation, but it'll be like you're living your everyday life, and you're like, you used to like the color black. You're like, now I like pink. You know what I mean? And you're like, now,
your own thought,
and now it's like, oh, I don't like to swear anymore. I don't like this type of music. I am very agreeable. You know, I don't mind just going to work and working hard. I love it. Oh, a tax increase? Hooray!
Right.
Oh, internet censorship? Wouldn't want to see something the government doesn't want me to see. Thanks, Justin Trudeau. And that's when you know that I got the brain chip, when I start talking like that.
Right.
Okay.
But not only that, but what if you have an errant thought that like you want to hurt somebody or rob someplace or assassinate?
You fantasize about it.
All of a sudden,
Minority Report.
The police show up, and you're going to jail.
Like, freeze, motherfucker! You fucking pedophile! It's like they would.
I saw you looking at your neighbor.
They would get actually a lot. Like, be like, okay, you're gonna get the pedophiles before they do bad shit. But at the same time, like, dude, it's a slippery slope. It's like, yeah, I only thought about beating up my girlfriend. It's like, I only fantasized about killing my wife because she wanted to take my kids.
She was saying some really stupid shit. And she just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Fucking dinner was cold.
Are you gonna blame me?
Dinner, you go. Dinner's cold, and your wife's like, "What's wrong?" All of a sudden, the cops bust in. They're like, "Don't worry, ma'am, you're safe."
So, are the cops the only ones that hear you, or can your wife hear you too? Like,
if you sign up for the $100 a month,
if you pay the premium subscription, your wife can't hear you.
we'll put a chip on your husband. You can get all the readings you want. Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're watching TV, you just get a book thrown at the back of your head. You fucking bitch! I know you were thinking about that chick.
There was a Black Mirror episode like that where they could go back and rewind their memories.
Yeah, that one's
this
cool.
This guy was like banging his girlfriend, thinking of all other chicks that he banged. He was going through the memory banks.
And she got pissed.
Well, she was like, yeah, she's like, you keep going into that mode when we're doing it. And he's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's like he's kind of like cheating on his wife, but he's not.
But then, But then he thinks she's cheating on him.
Yeah.
So he goes back to all these instances where she someone says something and she looked different, and everything he ever saw is recorded, and he has like a little iPod to control it. He just watches it in his eyes. Everybody has it in that world, and he obsesses over it. And he
it gets to a point where it's like not healthy.
Yeah,
is that the one where the two dudes make
there's
out?
Also one like
no,
that.
That's a different
one.
It's like the VR one.
Oh, okay. I can't remember the one you guys are talking about.
Yeah, they like go
and then
into
they
the
just
game,
like start making
and
out.
the guy picked like a chick character, and they just fuck.
And it's all awkward after. Oh, dude, we just fucked.
One of my favorites is that Star Trek episode where Buddy just comes home from work and he goes into his game and he's like, he's like the captain of the starship, right? And everyone's like his slave pretty much. Yeah. And then when he goes away, they're just like, oh my God, like, thank fuck. Like they're all still like alive in this video game. It's like, I don't know. That's a trippy
like
one.
They're all like singular AIs.
Yeah. But, all right, what else we got here?
We got AOC actually doing some good for the first time in her life.
That's right.
Trying to introduce a bipartisan bill banning Congress members from trading individual stocks.
It's called the Fuck Nancy Pelosi bill.
Yeah. Basically, there's no reason in the world why Nancy Pelosi should have better stock records than Warren Buffett.
So she's not in Congress anymore, right? She gave up her spot recently.
She aged out.
Yeah,
basically.
So it's just so funny how as soon as she's gone, they're like, and now we can introduce this bill. Like that would have stopped her from making millions of dollars.
She would have stopped the bill. She had so much power, she could have stopped the bill from ever becoming
Fair enough.
law.
That's true.
Right now, it's just they're just proposing this bill. It's not solid or anything like that.
It's still getting proposed. I remember them talking about like putting it together like months ago. So like it must be at like it's just being proposed now.
Yeah. It's being introduced.
Oh yeah. Well, there was talks of it like just before Nancy Pelosi retired from her spot there. However, she stepped down or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, we all know Nancy Pelosi,
right.
Best trader, best trading history out of any trader.
They announced a bipartisan bill restricting members of Congress from. So it's just announced. Yeah, it's not actually like written or anything like that. Right. The Bipartisan Restoring Faith in Government Act is what it's called. Aims to block members of Congress as well as their spouses.
Yep.
Yeah, and dependents from trading individual stocks.
But their friends in the Bahamas, they're allowed to.
There's so many. Yeah, you could just be like, "Hey, bro, put $1 million on Apple and give me half."
Hit me up, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's such greasy shit to where they know that a bill's going to pass that's going to really stifle a stock, so they're going to sell. And they're the only ones that know this is going to pass because it hasn't even been introduced to the goddamn public yet.
And in the end, it won't change anything. They'll just have to jump through an extra couple hoops to make it happen. So.
Yeah, just like everything else in business. You just make a shell corporation and all of a sudden you're fine.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and sue that, and I'll just bankrupt it and make another one.
This person on my Facebook shared this thing today. Have you heard of Diagolon?
No.
So
that sounds familiar, but no.
So a couple years ago, this guy was highlighting the areas on a live stream. I can't remember this guy's name. He was highlighting all the areas in the United States that had like the most chill vax policies, COVID mandates and whatnot. And it created kind of a diagonal line across the country. So he's like, oh, like he jokingly said, like, oh, we should like make it its own country called Diagolon, right? And yeah, look at this flag here. So I don't even know if that's an official flag, by the way, because it's not a real fucking group. It was literally just like a meme. That's all it was. And so, anyways, they haven't done anything. Nothing's gone on. But in 2020, during the Freedom Convoy, police searched this vehicle and seized apparently some bulletproof armor with a couple weapons, and on the bulletproof armor there was a flag that looks like that kind of. I think the lines even went the other way. There was like it's just like anyone could make a fucking flag like that. But like, I guess like now people think that they're like a real like alt-right hate group that's trying to take over the government and all this shit and like maybe do shootings. And there's people
And
that
Canadian.
I have people on my Facebook that like think this is like a real thing. And like the more I look into it, the less real it looks.
And they're
like,
calling it a neo-fascist militia.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That term's getting a little played out too.
Yeah, so in my opinion, it's just to demonize like the whole Freedom Convoy movement because they're trying to associate this with it because it was found with some people who were part of the convoy. That's the one shred of evidence in 2020 or 2021, whichever year it was. That's the one shred of evidence that this group even exists and that they're doing anything bad. Like, and it's not even real evidence. Like, the person that was making the video about it wasn't even sure. They're just like, ooh, but what if they are real? And like just trying to scare people with it. And
yeah. They're trying to call him a Holocaust denier and anti-Semite. Yeah, it's a little outdated.
So the guy that made it just jokingly said it. It wasn't a real thing.
Yeah.
Like it was just a joke. Like maybe some people took it too far. Maybe there is a group of people that are like, you know what? We should make Diagolon.
I'm sure even if it wasn't the person who founded it, I'm sure there's some people that are like, yeah, that's cool.
It makes no sense. We're talking about the Freedom Convoy in Canada and the Canadian people, and Diagolon is a made-up thing that's in the States. It's the States that he was talking about. It literally makes no sense.
There's disenfranchised people that want to cling on to anything.
Yep,
so if they just see like, oh, what, these guys are doing that, I can do that too. And then all of a sudden you feel like you're part of a group and you have fucking friends.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it just kind of snowballs off from there, yeah.
Hey, if you guys have been enjoying this podcast, hit that like button.
Please give us a like, yeah.
Tell us what you think in the comments. I'm not sure how many of you guys are watching. And I saved the best for last, though.
Best for last. Have we hit this one with Biden getting...
No, but you can hit that real quick.
So Andrew's got a video to play. I don't know if we need to do the whole 2 minutes here, but go ahead, Andrew. See what Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say.
We've been to the Treasury Department and we have read suspicious activity reports, not just a few of them. There's over 200 of them. A suspicious activity report is something you and I will likely never have, but the Bidens have had over 200. These are bank-produced reports that tell of crimes, true crimes, human sex trafficking. Those are actual words in these reports. Money laundering. Those are also actual words in these reports. And the reports that we read told us exactly who was involved, what countries were involved, what accounts were involved, where the payments came from, and who the payments went to. I'll give you an example. Wire transfers from China going directly into LLCs. These are shell companies that would launder the money, and then payments would get made to multiple Biden family members. We also have the bank statements, thanks to the hard work of everyone on oversight. We have the bank statements that back up and show the actual transactions being made. The American people deserve to see this. And this has nothing to do with political parties. This has everything to do with real crimes. But what we have now, and the explosive news that came out yesterday, and the reason why I put that video out, is because we have a very brave whistleblower that, like I said, is fearing for his life. who has come forward with evidence that truly shows that it's not just Hunter Biden and Hallie Biden and Jim Biden and many other Biden family members that are involved in this. It's Joe Biden directly when he was vice president of the United States.
We could cut her there. Oh, that was it too. Well, that one went fast. But yeah, she's been saying this since he got into office. She's been following him adamantly against him ever since he was the vice president for 8 years under Obama. And I guess as soon as he got into office, she served him papers as a subpoena to appear in court for all this. And that was back in 2020.
But if you're a sitting president, you can't.
Can't what?
That can't happen, can it?
Can't.
If you're a sitting president, can someone just do that to you? I don't think so.
You're not above the law at all. You can get impeached, which doesn't mean you get your presidency taken away, but you can get tried, and it has to be pretty bad for you to get taken down. I don't think anyone's ever been taken down. People have stepped down. Nixon stepped down.
Is there some sort of higher official that has to serve him, though? Like, not that random chick? I don't know who that chick is.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a congroswoman.
Oh, is she? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, she's a very high-ranking.
I didn't know she was in Congress. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
The guy she was talking to was Benny Johnson, a reporter.
Yeah, okay.
But she herself is an actual congresswoman that's like experienced, educated, knows what she's talking about. She's followed this entire story for over 10 years. Republican, yeah. And seems to have a bunch of evidence going against everyone here. But one whistleblower throws all this shit up into the air. You go looking on Twitter, you'll find so many people that are just completely split down the aisle on one side or the other. No one's really talking about a happy medium here. But yeah, a whistleblower tip about a document allegedly putting President Biden at the center of a bribery scheme triggered a guessing game across Washington Wednesday. So who the fuck knows? Biden 80 regularly met with his son Hunter and brother James's international connections during his 8-year vice presidency, including citizens of China, Kazakhstan, Mexico, Russia, and Ukraine. Is that itself incriminating? No, but those dollar amounts going into his bank account are.
Absolutely. And the rest of his family.
They're directly linked to influencing decisions made on foreign policy.
That makes sense.
And that is illegal.
Giving China a wide open door to do what they want.
Exactly. That itself is illegal. Even that being said, it's not enough to put him in jail. It's enough to get him impeached. But that doesn't take him off of the presidency. What was his name? Clinton got impeached. Oh. He didn't get dethroned as president.
I think China has North America in its pocket. Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden.
The Trudeaus and the Bidens are direct Chinese assets. The Trudeaus especially. Trudeau's little brother Alex testified this week as to the Trudeau Foundation's allegations that they have Chinese bribery themselves, taking on a $170,000 donation from China just before Trudeau himself was elected. What was that, 2014?
I think so, yeah.
I think, yeah. And if you've watched the news, you haven't seen Trudeau at all since he went to New York last week. He's been completely hiding, even though his family's being berated and accosted as Chinese assets that he is.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a fun day in the news.
Well, let me sneak this in real quick. Speaking of China, we got this video of this new device in schools. This is not the best one that I was saving for last. It's just real quick. I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
That one.
School in China know exactly when someone isn't paying attention.
I did see this, yeah.
These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. Good job! Classrooms have robots that analyze students' health and engagement levels. Students wear uniforms with chips that track their locations. There are even surveillance cameras that monitor how often students check their phones or yawn during classes. But schools say it wasn't hard for them getting parental consent to enroll kids into what is one of the world's largest experiments in AI education. A program that's supposed to boost students' grades while also feeding powerful algorithms. Teachers at this primary school...
Ridiculous.
Creepy. Well, that's creepy.
Coming
Tell me
soon
more.
to a Canada near you. It's just an experiment, but obviously that's the direction they're going in. Who do you think funded that experiment?
Biden.
No, it's actually Justin Trudeau. No.
Yeah, Biden and Trudeau.
The Trudeau Foundation in partnership with the Biden Foundation.
They're getting gay married to have a Chinese family.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Chinese kids coming out of Joe Biden or Trudeau probably.
Yeah.
Men can get pregnant, so.
The scary part is if you don't do that, you might get left in the dust. Kind of like you were saying before, if you don't use AI to regulate your life, people are going to, and you're going to be left behind. So America is going to probably start doing something like this very soon, and just to compete.
So we're at the end, so I'm going to get this last one in real
Okay,
quick.
you got one more?
Yeah, last one, my
Okay.
favorite one. So we talked about people preying on children, grooming children, sexualizing children, not just pedophiles, but people trying to sexualize children, show them that they can be a girl or a boy, and oh yeah, it's fine
Right.
to dress like a boy and girl. So anyways, Florida made a bill that bans the you can't do, what is it? Bill passed banning children from lewd adult performances.
Yeah.
So what happened is there was a
Drag
big
shows.
LGBTQ parade that was going to happen. And then this bill came out, and they said, you know
They
what?
canceled it.
Kids can't be there. They said, never mind. We're not going to
We
do it.
don't want to do this for
We don't want to
adults.
do it anymore if there's not going to be kids there. That's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, wow.
They could go do this for adults any day of the week.
Yep.
But they would never make the news, and no one would ever give a shit. So it doesn't make a ripple in their life, basically.
But the fact that they couldn't have kids there, so they canceled it, that did make the news. And you know what? That makes me happy. Because there's a bunch of kids that won't go to it now.
Yeah, it's
sorry,
such
I'm a bigot.
can of
If
worms.
that means I'm a bigot, then fuck. Sorry.
Either way, there's no reason to sexualize children.
Yeah. Have you seen a pride parade? There's dildos. There's fucking. It's.
There's
all
literally
these fetishes. Like
more than half naked men dancing around with little kids.
Yes.
And
So-
in no other situation whatsoever is that acceptable.
No.
And in no country that I want to live in is that ever going to be held as acceptable. And it's a hill worth dying on. That's the words I'm looking for here.
Could you imagine those guys that get caught showing up to meet like little boys and stuff? Some guy gets caught like, oh no, I'm just here to take him to a pride parade. It's all
Yeah.
good.
I was gonna leave my bikini bottom on. It's legal.
So, anyways, with that being said, we are at the end.
There we go. Well, I thank you. On behalf of all of us here at the Crowded Room Podcast, we'd ask that you like and subscribe. Thank Andrew for sitting there patiently behind us. And
Every Thursday he shows up.
thank Jer for trudging through this thing with his jacket on. Fuck me, that was
I
hot.
think I lost 5 pounds. So it
I'm
helps
having
out.
trouble just sitting here without it. Like I don't know. I don't think that's coming back on.
Dude, I'm gonna have to
We'll
wash
see.
this thing. It's
Yeah.
fucking wet.
All right. All right,
guys.
That's been the news. I'm Alex. He's Jer. It's a Crowded Room Podcast. Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a good night, guys.
Cause the moonlight, they say when the stars in my eyes really go running high, that we don't wanna lie when the union arises. Street lights shining, my time's arriving. Out when it's dark, cause we midnight vibing, midnight driving, cruising by flying, living so fast, never think about dying. Pose up in the dark and we hang out with the Batman. Scars on my knuckles cause we fucking with the wolf gang. Switchblade shining, night bright whining, stars in my eyes when the moonlight shines in. Murder rap on my first track, killing shit cause I've been begging suicide. On the second I don't care, just accept it. Knife swipe and your doom, switchblade coming soon. Chills on your spine when we holler to the fucking moon. Still shine bright, frostbite, make it ice one, shut down, slice with the right swirl. Blood on my fist, knife test on my wrist, moonshine off the blade, just cruising through the mist. Middle of the midnight, think twice about the motherfucking quick knife. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenading in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes where to go running high. There'll be no one alive when the union arrives. And it'll be the midnight. Think twice about the motherfucking quick knob. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenading in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes better go running high. There'll be no one alive when the union arrives. And it'll be the midnight. Think twice about the motherfucking quick knob. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenading in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes better go running high. There'll be no one alive when the union arrives. And